Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. You are listening to the Calm Mom Podcast. It's Michelle Grosser here. Thanks for being with us today. Today I want to go over 3 different ways that we can show our body it's okay to relax. It's okay to calm down. I think as women who have a lot going on, right? Do a lot of things, high achieving, ambitious, business, house, marriage, kids, like all the things, we often carry stress in our bodies without realizing it. So today what I want to do is I want to dive into one, why that happens, right? And then I want to give you guys really practical, somatic practices to show your body that it's safe to relax. We're going to, all of this is founded in Polyvagal Theory. So I'm not going to go too deep on the theory with you guys, but just giving you an understanding of what's actually going on in your body in these different states of your nervous system. Somatic practices. Y'all know me, I love to get out of the head and into the body. That's really how we shift the state of our nervous system. That's really how we heal anxiety and overwhelm and burnout. It's in our body. And then the importance of working, with our body from the bottom up, not just the mind. So we'll go into that today. So let's start with what does it even mean to show your body it's safe? Because I think a lot of times we hear that, right? These are practices that bring safety to your body. This is how to show your body it's safe. Do this breathing to bring safety to your body. And it's what are you even talking about? I used to think that, right? Because I'm I know I'm safe. I'm sitting in my house. I'm fine. Why am I so anxious? I'm not being chased by anything. No one's trying to break in. No one there's no fire, right? It's I'm fine. I'm safe. But I feel like my body's freaking out. So this brings us to polyvagal theory. And the idea here with polyvagal theory is that we have mechanisms built into our nervous system that are our body's kind of built-in radar for safety, always scanning for threats, always scanning for danger, because our nervous system's number one job always is to keep us alive, right? To keep us safe. Our nervous system is constantly scanning for cues, even when we're not aware of it, you guys. And it's this process called neuroception. Now, when our nervous system perceives some sort of threat, and that's a key word there, perceived. When I'm sitting in my house and I'm feeling a lot of anxiety when I wake up in the morning, my rational brain knows that I'm safe, right? Every logical part of my brain and I know that I'm safe, but my nervous system is perceiving some sort of threat. My body is perceiving some sort of threat that I'm not even aware of. And it's sending me into a stress response, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, right? Even if there's nothing happening in the moment, I'm literally laying in bed about to start the day, what's going on? The perceptions of my nervous system have a physiological response in my body. Things happen in my body because of those thoughts that are coming up, those perceptions of my nervous system that send me into fight or flight. So when we talk about showing our body that it's safe, what we mean by that is that we're calming that autonomic nervous system. We're helping our nervous system shift out of fight or flight, which is that sympathetic energy, that sympathetic circuit in polyvagal theory, or shift out of the dorsal vagal, which is like our shutdown and our freeze response, shift out of either of those two states into our parasympathetic state. That's the state where we feel really safe. Our nervous system feels really safe, connected, compassionate, social, all these beautiful things. We can only be in that space if our nervous system is perceiving safety, right? Where we can heal and we can rest and we can connect with others. So when our body feels safe, it signals to our nervous system, okay, we can shift out of fight or flight, right? We don't have to be stuck here on high alert, worrying about everything, feeling so anxious, being irritable, edgy, all those things. It's okay if we come back to baseline stress level in a quote unquote regulated state, which is so important for so many of our body's functions, right? Our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. Now, chronic stress, anxiety, burnout, a lot of the things that we talk about on this podcast are signs that your body is stuck in a dysregulated state. It's stuck in the sympathetic circuit in polyvagal theory, fight or flight, or it's maybe you're stuck in this dorsal vagal collapse, another circuit in polyvagal theory, which is that shutdown or freeze response. So your body, your nervous system is acting as if a threat is always present, even though one isn't, right? It's just an email from your boss. It's just a call from, I don't know, the doctor's office setting up an appointment. It's just, a day with a lot on your calendar. So what happens is that when we signal safety to our body with a lot of the somatic practices that I teach, right? That's the point, is we're signaling safety to the body. And it allows our parasympathetic nervous system, that regulated circuit, to engage, and it shifts our body into that rest, digest, and repair mode. So then we have more energy. We feel more emotionally balanced. It reduces chronic stress that leads to burnout. So that's kind of what's going on in our body and what it means when we're talking about bringing safety to our nervous system. Now, why do we need to focus on the body, right? This is like what I get so passionate about. This is why we need somatic, which means body-based, right? Somatic or soma, bottom-up somatic approaches instead of just top-down methods, which would be like mindset work or affirmations or positivity or all that stuff, right? That would be top-down. That's focusing on the top, on our brain, our mindset, all that stuff, and expecting it to have an impact on our body. Somatic practices, the work that I teach, is actually doing bottom-up work. It's saying, hey, let's bring safety to the body and send the messaging from the body up to the brain as safe. And then, man, when we get both of those messaging systems on board, right? Bottom up and top down, that's where you find breakthrough. That's where you find peace and freedom, instead of just focusing on top down methods like mindset and affirmations and all that stuff, which is good and it has a role, but it can't be the sole focus. And that's what you find in a lot of different approaches, therapies, coaching programs. It's just top-down approaches. I see it everywhere, right? It's like, let me teach you how to shift your mindset. Let me, write some new affirmations for you. Let's, talk about what's going on. Let's stay positive. Let's do all this cognitive work and let's overthink all this crap. And it's like, guys, helpful. But that will not reach the deeper unconscious parts of your nervous system that are actually storing stress and trauma and fears and all of these different things that are making it so quick for you to be triggered, perceive stress, and then be on high alert. Your nervous system, and catch this, I'm going to say this more than once. Your nervous system operates through sensations and emotion way more than it operates through logic. I'm going to say that again. Your nervous system operates through sensation and it operates through emotions way more than it operates through your logical thought. So that's why telling yourself, I'm safe, this is fine, this is not a big deal, calm down, like anxiety, go away, whatever it is. You might know that rationally and logically, but your body is not getting the message because you're not communicating with your body through sensation or emotion, which is how your body understands safety, right? But when we shift and we instead focus on bottom-up approaches, so we use the body to communicate safety to the brain, that's the way that it works, you guys. That works with our reptilian brain, which is all the sensations and it works with our limbic system, the emotions and the feelings. And both of those play critical roles in regulating your nervous system. So like if you're stuck in fight or flight, if you're feeling really edgy and irritable and anxious and all these like things, you're just like very activated, you can't think your way out of that, you guys. Same thing on the other side. If you're feeling super exhausted and burnt out and just like disconnected and detached, you can't just like convince yourself and talk yourself into feeling more vibrant and passionate about life and excited about things again and, not feeling so overwhelmed by everything. So instead, what I teach is these body-based practices that instead of telling your system it's safe, you're actually showing your nervous system that it's safe. And that's the magic, right? Those are the sensations. That's the emotional work. The feeling is where you're showing your body that you're safe rather than just telling it that you're safe. And a lot of people have tried all of the top-down approaches, right? And maybe you're like, this is landing for you because you've tried that too. You've done traditional talk therapy. You've done all of these different like top-down things, this cognitive work. That taps into your thinking brain, right? Your neocortex. But it doesn't always reach your autonomic nervous system because so much of our autonomic nervous system, you guys, operates outside of our conscious thought. It's patterns that have been running since early childhood, right? It's things that we experienced when it could be as early as in utero, right? Before you were even born, your birth experience, really early, like your newborn phase. When you were a young baby, a toddler, like things that you experienced that your nervous system sensed are stored away in your body's memory. And a lot of them are outside of your conscious thought, but they are running the show. So you need to incorporate your body's felt sense, like actually the sensations of your body to address the root of dysregulation. Especially for us, you guys, I'm gonna include myself in here, and I think a lot of you will relate to this because this is so many of the women that I coach. I call us high achieving moms because we're so comfortable in our head. We are the doers. We love a good checklist. We love to, be ambitious and have the big goals and come up with a plan for those big goals. And we're super smart. And we kind of have felt this pressure to mentally power through things. And in doing so, we're disconnected from the sensations and the messages that our body is signaling to us. This was me for so long, for most of my life until like 7 years ago. So 30 something years. This is how I was. I was just like, I'll come up with a plan. I'll think about it. I'm going to intellectualize it. I want to understand it. I want to like tell myself the things I want to, but I don't know what it would look like to like notice the sensations in my body or actually like feel anything. And it wasn't until I started learning how to do that in an effective way that I really started to see massive improvements in the regulation of my nervous system, anxiety, overwhelm, and burnout. Okay, let's talk about some of those somatic practices that can help bring safety to your body. These are practices that are going to help transition you from a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn response into that parasympathetic state. These can be small. These are actionable tools that you can integrate into your daily life. And as I'm going through these, I promise you there's going to be some of you guys that are like, well, that seems way too simple. Yes, it is simple. It's why so many of us overlook the power in it because it's so simple. It's not a 10-step plan. It's not, something you have to go out and spend thousands of dollars on. It's how our body is designed to function. We've just gotten so far away from that in the way in which we live in 2024. All right. So the first one is a somatic practice of just orienting to the present moment. This is ultimately it's mindfulness, right? Super simple, you guys, but it's such a powerful practice where you're just consciously orienting yourself to what's going on around you, to the sensory information in your environment. And what you're doing is you're affirming to your nervous system, I'm here, I'm grounded, this is safe, right? Or at least neutral. Orienting signals to our nervous system that there's no immediate threat when we talk about safety, right? And it helps shift our body out of that state of like hypervigilance. So if you're listening right now, let's just try it for a few seconds. Like, pause. Look around. Just notice where you're at. Go ahead, maybe, just remark 5 things that you can see. If you're driving, what are you seeing? If you're at home, if you're folding laundry, if you're in the pickup line, what are 5 things that you can see right now? Just noticing your environment. How about some things that you can feel, right? I'm wearing a huge, oversized, cozy fleece. I'm starting to be warm. Maybe you feel the warmth of sunlight. Maybe you feel your seat supporting you under your chair. Maybe you feel if you're barefoot or wearing socks or shoes. Maybe you're holding something. Maybe you're pushing something. Maybe you're driving. Like what kind of sensations can you notice? How about hearing? What kind of things do you hear right now? You're obviously hearing the sound of my voice. Are you hearing anything else? I can hear my kids taking a shower. I can hear the water running in the next room. Can you hear anything outside? Can you hear anything happening in your home, your kids? Just savoring the experience and noticing how life in this moment feels and looks and sounds, tastes and smells in your body. Orienting, so simple. It pulls our brain out of survival mode and it brings us into the present. And over time, a consistent practice of this, right? Can you do this every time you get in the car to drive? Can you do this, every time you're eating instead of being on your phone? Can you take 30 seconds to orient? This signals to your nervous system that the body is safe, right? There is no threat and we can calm down. So that's the first practice, super simple. The second somatic practice is self-touch or grounding touch, right? Touch, this obviously sensations of our body will respond to touch, right? That activates the parasympathetic nervous system through our vagus nerve, which sends signals of safety and calm to our body. So maybe it's something like just placing your hand over your heart right now. Like what if you just spread out your hand over your chest? Whatever pressure kind of feels good and safe, and just sit there and breathe into that. And notice if that does anything for your nervous system. What happens if you cross your hands in front of you and put your hands on your shoulders and just kind of start gently squeezing from your shoulders down to your elbows, down to your wrists, and then kind of back up your arms again. We call that havening. That kind of touch can help your body feel really held and supported. That kind of touch tells your brain you're safe, right? You don't need to worry about defending yourself right now. So try it. Like place a hand over your chest, maybe the other hand on your belly, just gently pressing and feeling the warmth and the pressure of your hands. Stay here for just a few breaths. You can notice, the rise and the fall of your belly, what happens in your chest when you do that, noticing your breathing. Super powerful. Touch is a really powerful tool for down-regulating, especially an overactive nervous system. So again, I'm giving you guys like the simple stuff today. Super simple practice that can be really effective in helping to alleviate feelings of anxiety or edginess. And then number 3, the third way I want to give you to show your body it's safe, it's okay to calm down, is stimulating your vagus nerve through breath. Everyone knows when we're like triggered by our kids or our partner or traffic or whatever, it's like, take a deep breath, right? Yes, there's something to that, especially noticing your breath. I think a lot of times we hear take a deep breath, and I'm not really the biggest proponent of that because a big inhale actually increases our heart rate, which can increase activation of our nervous system. So if we're going to work on breathing or noticing our breathing to help calm our body down, I think just noticing our breath can oftentimes be a lot more helpful than taking a big inhale, because that tells my body like, we're getting ready to run, right? Like mobilize. That's the kind of breathing that we do when we're getting ready to fight or run. So if you're going to be doing slow, deep breaths, also very helpful. But in that case, I would want you guys to be especially focusing on your exhale. So you want to be exhaling longer than you inhale. It's actually an extended deep exhale that activates your body's calming response. That's what stimulates your vagus nerve, because our vagus nerve acts as a brake for the nervous system. So it kind of helps to shift us from fight or flight into that rest and digest mode. So when we exhale slowly, as long as you can, slow and extended, that signals to our nervous system, hey, pump the brakes a little bit on the stress hormones. We got this, right? So a practice that I find to be helpful is you're inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 4 counts, exhaling for 6 counts. And you guys can do that several times. And just notice as you focus on extending that exhale, lengthening that exhale, slowing your breath, you're going to also slow your heart rate. You're going to also activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which helps your body to relax and unwind from stress. So 4 counts in. Why don't we do it together? Let's just do a few. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do it again. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. And just notice, right? That was 3 rounds through. What if you did that for 2 minutes, right? How it helps your body just kind of, right? The shoulders drop, the jaw releases, right? All your muscles just kind of feel all that tension melting away, unwinding from the stress. Guys, this is the importance of showing your body, instead of telling it, showing your body that it's safe. 3 super simple practices. These aren't quick fixes, right? But they're small. They're intentional actions that are going to help shift the state of your nervous system back into that quote unquote regulated state consistently over time. And I encourage you guys to experiment with these. Just notice how your body feels before, and then notice how your body feels after. Like even with the breathing we just did, maybe before you're like, man, I was at like a 7 today. And then after that, 3 rounds of breathing, man, I feel like it brought me down to at least like maybe a 5 or a 4, right? Or maybe you were at a 9 and it brought you down to a 6. Or maybe you were at a 7 and it brought you down to a 2 and you're actually feeling a lot better. Like breath like that works really well for your nervous system. Awesome. Experiment, play around with all this stuff until you find your tools that really help your nervous system feel safe and come back to regulation. So I would love to hear from you guys. Try these on for size. Keep what works, leave what doesn't. And then send me an email, reach out to me a DM on Instagram at It's Michelle Grosser. I love to hear from you guys. Tune into future episodes so you can deepen your understanding, even more of how your nervous system functions and somatic practices to help regulate your nervous system. Because my friends, healing is a process. And, that learning to show your body it's safe brings such a profound sense of calm. And then ultimately the goal for us, right, is to increase our capacity. It's to increase our resilience, that flexibility, so we can handle more of what life brings us and throws at us sometimes unexpectedly, without it sending us into, this dysregulated state. All right. That's what I've got for you guys. Thanks for spending this time with me. As always, I'm so grateful. I love you all so much. If you have not yet left the show a 5-star rating or a short review, I would be so honored if you would take 20 seconds and do that today. One, because I do love to read them, but more than that, because that's how we get this information in front of other women, just like you and me, who really need to know this. So they can lean in and learn the things that we're learning and have it impact their lives, how it's impacted ours. So a 5-star rating or a short review, if you could leave yours today, if you haven't yet, I love you guys so much. I'm so grateful. I will talk to you soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com, where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.